And we are live.
Okay, yes, we are live streaming now. Hello, everybody. I am Matthew Miller. I am the Fedora project leader, and this is our monthly video-based update from different parts of the project. We have Petr, Šabata, and Jona. I can never remember how to say your last name, so you'll have to say it for me.
Azizaj.
Azizaj. And Sumantro. Also can't say last name. That's terrible. I need to learn people's last names. I'm a terrible person. I know people's first names very well. I'm a first name basis kind of person. Anyways, here to present on different parts of the Fedora project that they are kind of watching over as part of the Fedora Council. And Adam, who is here to be decorative as well. Shamalik, I can basically say his last name. That's 1 point for me there. Okay, anyways, so yes, this is our Fedora Council meeting, and we have people giving reports on different parts of the project here. Jona is the Diversity and Inclusion Advisor. Would you like to go first on what's going on in that part of Fedora recently?
Yes, sure. So I think I stopped hearing you. Okay. So regarding the diversity and inclusion team, one of the things that we have done, so we, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's working perfectly for once.
Can you actually see the slides?
Yes, I can try to share them. Just
I'm sharing, but I don't know if anybody sees them.
You're... Okay, so as you already know, outreach has started. So we will support for this round 3 interns. For now, we have only 2 projects, but if we will have, let's say, interesting interns that we want them to work on Fedora stuff, we will support 3 interns this round. Usually we had only once, so this time we tried to onboard more people, let's say. And Justin and I are also mentoring for Fedora Happiness Package there, so trying to get more people to have it, let's say, to do some changes on the Fedora Happiness Packets, and we can use it more on everyday basis, not only for the Appreciation Week that we had last year. And another thing, so we are getting back to weekly meetings because we had some problems with that, and we kind of stopped having meetings. So that it helps, let's say, to get updated or checking or having an overview of the things that we are working on. And the working progress that we are still working on that, as I mentioned, so we are like helping or getting engaged with applicants for outreach, not only for the Fedora Happiness Package that I mentioned, but also for the other project, mostly like, let's say, kind of together with Laura, because she's helping with that a lot. Helping them to get on board even in the community or with different questions that they might have. We are working on the engagement strategy to grow more our team because we need more people that can help us. And this is something that we lack of lately, that we need more people that can help us on the things that are in progress. And let's say would be great if we can have more people that could help us. Another idea that we had for the Fedora classroom sessions from the DNI team was accessibility in Fedora. So basically, Ms. Karuna is the person that suggested to have this topic, and she suggested to talk with blind or deaf Fedora users, so to see how they use Fedora. And we could talk about accessibility tools that are available, or how to make things like information resources or media resources more accessible. Like, these are some of the things that we can cover, but accessibility is more broad, so we need to work on that and see what other things we can include. And something that is still ongoing is the event organization best practices guide that are related to DNI. And that can be helpful for events, not only big events like Flog, but also like small ones organized by ambassadors or other people willing to do Fedora-related events. So mostly these were like kind of an overview what we are working on. And for now, it's not that we have something that needs the council attention. Also, something else that we are working with Sumantro, I think like you should remember from the last time for the Mentor Summit. So we are trying to have kind of a draft that the Mindshare will approve and then will be a ticket for council.
Okay.
So that's all from me. If you have any questions or
yeah, did I understand there's basically 2 projects that are for Outreachy that are approved projects, and 3, but we have funding for a third one. So, what are the 2 that are approved, and do we have are those open positions looking for applicants, or are those filled?
Yes, like both projects. So one is Fedora Happiness Package and the other one is Stephen Gallagher, I think, is mentoring that. I forgot the title.
Yeah. I remember
So
Stephen saying he has too many good candidates and he's going to have a hard time deciding, which I guess is a good problem to be in.
And actually, it's the same that we have with Fedora Happiness Packet because like Fedora Happiness Package was also for Google Summer of Code last year, but we didn't have that many applicants. This time for Outreach, it was like kind of crazy because like Outreach had only 2 days that it started, and we had also pull request open, and we had like a lot of people applying, a lot of interest, and there are at least like 2 people that we have kind of, let's say, in mind that we would like to work on 2 different things, of course. So let's say we will see in the end. It depends on the both projects to see how many people we will fund. But we have funding for 3 for this round.
So for the third one, is it possible we would hire a second person for one of those projects, or are we actively looking for a third project and mentor?
We are looking forward to have another project as well. The deadline is very near, actually, to have another project. But from the project that we're already applying to be part of, they didn't have many newcomers issues. That's why we haven't approved any other yet. But if we will have any other project that they want, let's say, to apply, yeah, sure, we can do that. I think the deadline for approving projects is March 10, something like that. And the deadline for outreach is March 26.
Okay. I know there's an initiative to try and refresh the way Fedora websites are put together. I wonder if that might be a good candidate. I'm going to email people about that. I will include you. And is Justin the other person to include in this?
Laura, I would suggest,
Laura, okay.
Since she's the organizer for the outreach.
Okay, yeah, Laura, of course.
Usually we had it was difficult for us to find mentors, to be honest, for the outreach. Mostly it was easier for Google Summer of Code. I don't know why this happened. But this time I'm happy that we had at least 2 projects that were willing to participate in outreach.
Outreach is set up to be a more intensive kind of project than Google Summer of Code, so the demands on the mentors are higher. I think that's my impression.
That's true.
Okay. Anything else we can do?
For the moment, I don't think so. Like, as I said, one of the kind of problems that we are facing as a team is that we need a bit more people to get involved and help. But yeah, apart that, I don't have something else.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Petr, do you want to go next? Talk about what happened at the Modularity Hackfest and what else is going on in engineering other than Rawhide being broken?
Sure. So let's start with the generic news. Since the last meeting that we had, we are getting closer to Fedora 30 and Fedora 31 as rawhide. So we've done the Fedora 30 mastery build. We went through the branching process, and we have just yesterday entered the Bodhi activation point. So any update for Fedora 30 needs to go through Bodhi now. This happened for both regular packages as well as modules for the first time. There were some complications, but we got through it. The process will be a lot better and optimized for the next release, we hope. Unfortunately, Fedora 31/rawhide is currently not in the best state, and I will quote Adam Williamson from yesterday, it's really unlikely that we will get the rawhide compose anytime soon. This is currently broken on image builds, so we were considering the possibility of turning those off and just generating the repos for the time so that we can actually have something that people can play with even if we don't actually have any images, installation, or container or otherwise. This is pretty much it for rawhide and Fedora 30. And
is that anything? Is this just the general sometimes stuff breaks with bit rot kind of thing or problem, or why is this broken?
Unfortunately, I don't have any technical details. I haven't gone through the logs, but it seems like the case of sometimes things break. It is not anything unusual or revolutionary, and it's not related to modules, if that is where you are going.
That's important. No. I was not going to blame modules. I was blaming modules for the other thing, not for this, obviously.
But it's been over a week since we branched, and this is not a good sign. But of course, everybody is looking into it, especially Relange.
Okay, I'll check in with Relange about that.
Mm-hmm. So today's highlight is about modules. We actually met at the DevConf and FAUSTM last month, or it's actually already a month and a half, and we discussed the issue where we actually cannot build non-modular packages against modules, and as several maintainers have decided to move their content entirely to modules, namely Java, this is becoming an issue. We've had a mechanism to make this possible for a while, but this hasn't been accepted by FESCO. The reasons were that while it is possible to deploy it in the infrastructure, the end user experience, special and third-party experience, was suboptimal, since we actually, those people, including mock users, couldn't build against the modules that are included in the non-modular build route. So we sat together and drafted a new proposal that would solve this issue. It doesn't require any new service to be deployed, unlike the original proposal, but it requires a new minimal compose with the modules that are supposed to be available for the non-modular packages at build time. Coincidentally, this also fixes the issue for third parties and local builds, where you can just point your mock config or build system config to the new compose that is also used by Koji, and you automatically get access to all the content. Also, if you use DNF in the build route, it will automatically work with the metadata that this compose provides and will automatically enable all the modules that you need. We have a somewhat detailed proposal. It is linked from the FESCO ticket that you can see on the slides. It's ticket number 2003. But we are still gathering feedback and AX from all the stakeholders. This also involves Apple people, the infrastructure, Relange, and several people from Modularity and other engineers.
Okay, that sounds exciting. For bullet points, that sounds like a perfect proposal. I'll go look at the details though.
There is still one problem. That only impacts module builds. So a lot of feedback. So we need to fix that. But compared to the original proposal, this is still much better. What else was there? Oh yeah, to implement this, we will need changes in MPS itself, and we will need changes in Koji. We discussed this with Koji developers at those conferences, and it should be fairly minimal and trivial. It is possible that we will also need changes in merge repo, which Koji uses to generate the build root repos to preserve the modular metadata from the external compose and so on. But that should also be fairly simple and could be hacked around if not delivered in time.
In the past, getting changes in Koji and Punji and so on in place in a timely manner has been kind of a challenge. Do we have the people and resources and access lined up to do that once the plan is approved?
You are right, but I'm fairly confident that we can deploy changes in time this time. The communications improved a lot.
All right, I'll take that as optimism coming from you.
Maybe it's because I'm you.
No. Everything will be awesome. Okay. I'll keep an eye on that. So this ticket is the Ursa Major ticket, but this new proposal is still Ursa Major or Ursa Major something else?
It is still the same topic. Ursa Major is the name of the original tool/service that was that could be managing the build root, but we decided not to deploy because of those issues that I was mentioning. And the new proposal is basically the same thing as Ursa Major, but without Ursa Major. You don't need anything new. You don't need any new service or anything.
Can we call it Ursa Minor?
Yeah, or the Southern Cross.
I like the small bear. I think that's the way to go on this one. I'm just my suggestion.
Okay. I got sign-offs from a number of people, but we'll have to ping the rest then who still owe it to me. So I think that's
awesome.
pretty much all. I have nothing else to highlight to the council today. So any questions or comments?
I asked a bunch of questions, so it's time for somebody else if they have them.
When are we going to get the gating in right so that we don't break it like it's currently broken?
That's a good question. I believe the CI team is working on it, but the CI system is wonky. I cannot give you any dates.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard reliability problems with GreenWave is the main issue. And Paul, you're on the call here. Paul Fields, is that you're having conversations about that? Is I don't know. I'm worried about this getting out of hand.
Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, all right, finally solved my problem here. Yeah, so GreenWave has been kind of a thorn in the side of.
Hey, Paul, could you speak up a little? I cannot hear you.
Give me a second. I may be having some audio issue here. I'm not sure exactly what microphone is being used.
It sounds clear, just low.
Okay. All right. I can't talk a whole lot louder. The key right now is that GreenWave is definitely problematic for Bodhi and the infrastructure right now. It tends to throw a lot of 500 errors. There are problems with it. We have been discussing with the folks at Red Hat who maintain GreenWave and talking to them about this problem. It has pulled a lot of hours out of people on the team to try and address these problems so far. And we're not obviously we're not happy about it. There may be other alternatives that we can use for GreenWave. We're investigating that now. That may help us simplify the infrastructure as well. It's just not clear to us yet what, if any, effect that has on Red Hat's internal product teams, whether it changes any expectations, whether it would shoot the CI program in the foot or do something else that would be problematic. So in other words, if we pull that out there and by doing that, then create a huge additional roadmap need for the CI team to then create, we have to have that discussion with them. So that's ongoing right now.
Okay, thanks. As long as that's ongoing, I feel less worried. It's when no one's talking that things are really become a problem.
Oh yeah, no, people are definitely talking about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Petr. I'm not sure. Are you on the line here? I saw you there, but your audio was terrible when you tried to talk. Let's see if this works.
Yep, I am there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. A little crackly,
Great.
but basically works.
Okay. So I'm on a terrible connection. That's all. Nothing much. So I have a couple of updates from Mindshare. So one being, like Jona said, Fedora got selected for GSOC 2019, and we have about 5 projects. Most of them. So one is happiness packets. One is there's this tool called Fedora GUI Karma, which is being rewritten, and then there's another project on container, specifically Podman, which is being mentored by Daniel Walsh, and there was another mentor, and then we kind of sort of had another project which was taken down very recently by and that had something to do with registry that Fedora uses currently. So it was proposed and then it was taken down. But yeah, we have around 5 projects which are lined up, about 16 plus candidates. Ben Cotton's also had a project which was for the change management. So we are open to applications, and mostly people are pinging us, the mentors, over email, which is not a good idea. So I soon will be drafting a blog post on community blog, and thereby we would be streaming the emails to the summer coding list rather than not to the mentors specifically. Yes, that's the status on how we are at GSOC. GCI ended and we had around 150 people participate there. So we had a great number. It was all high school students, and all of them started using Fedora. So that's a good achievement for us. As a part of Mentor Summit, we are supposed to send one mentor to Google headquarters, and we selected one person called Vipul Siddharth, who is currently working on the Fedora CI with Brian Stinson under Jim Parent's team. We have so on the Mindshare part, we have we had a couple of challenges that last time we discussed during Council Hackfest, which were we somehow needed to get the process more streamlined about how much, like the $100 events and stuff, and we have got it down to less than 10 hours on the reply to each of the tickets which are being filed for swags and budget. So essentially, if someone files a ticket within 10 hours, it gets a response, at least a response on if this is going somewhere or what are the thoughts of at least one of the Mindshare people. There is a pull request which is open for the new guidelines for release parties, which is a single document which is going to be placed in talks.fedoraproject.org, which would talk about how to host your release parties, and that won't contain all the ambassadors bit, which previously were there, that if you are just an ambassador, you could do release parties. So this is more open to everyone, which was kind of the proposal. So that's open for thought. So if anyone would like to have a read, it's a pull request open on Mindshare, Pagure Mindshare. That's mostly what it is. There is another thing that we hit a gray area where some of the events that the community requested for were more than $100, like way more than $100, like $1,000. And then it became kind of very hard for us to decide how long should we keep it open and how many votes should it be required. So Bex filed a ticket and everyone plus one did. So it's 11 days. So 11 days as in it should at least go via one meeting, one Mindshare meeting, and then 3 or 5 plus ones or 3 plus ones. That's the thing that we finalized on. So mostly even heavy budget events can now be processed that way. So this is exactly what we are looking at. We have a lot of event proposals coming up from different parts of the world. So mostly Edinburgh. We had FOSS Asia coming up. So there's a Fedora presence which is happening there. And yes, we're kind of coordinating there. There's nothing actionable for the council right now. So that's my take on the Mindshare's stake. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Yeah, I got a couple. The first thing you said about the GSOC students emailing people, was the problem them emailing people directly rather than to a shared list, or was it that they were using email and they should be using a different communication mechanism in this century?
Oh yeah, no. So here's what the problem is, right? If people ping every single mentor personally, it becomes kind of a thing that everyone starts asking, what should I do to get into GSOC Fedora? And that's not a very good question to ask, because a mentor might just get irritated and stop replying altogether. Or for that matter, they might just not feel good about student asking, like, what can I do to get into this and what can I do to get into that? And when specifically, if a mentor is busy, they might not reply, but then that doesn't stop you from looking at other projects in Fedora. So it's not like if you mail a mentor and then a reply doesn't come and you say, hey, you know what, this doesn't work for me. That's not the case. You should probably send it to the summer code list, and where probably a lot of other people can look at it and then tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Individuals rather than central problem. Okay, that makes total sense.
Yes.
All right, the second thing is, okay, so we're now in the new fiscal year, although as traditional, we don't actually have a budget yet. We had asked Mindshare to spend, $250 events a week throughout this fiscal year, basically. Are we on track already? Have we spent 2 of them so far?
Yep, so we are on track because I see a lot of event requests coming up, and we are going ahead and approving them right away. So yes, we are pretty much on track.
Okay, awesome. Glad to hear it. Any questions from other people?
I just wanted to comment on how impressed I am on the response time you guys are getting to.
Yeah, that's 10 hours. So yeah, we are doing pretty good, I'd say.
I go with amazing.
Yeah. I try to respond to people within 11 days. I think that's good for me personally.
Yeah, but you delete everything that is once you cross the year line. So,
right. I try to be more responsive than that. I'm sorry when I'm not. So the one other question I had, this is a little bit a personal thing because it's a ticket I filed, but also a general thing. I filed a ticket in Mindshare about this. So Stack Exchange has these community promotion ads where we can basically run advertisements for free across their network. And I filed it with Mindshare because although we need designs, so they refresh them every year, we need new designs. But we also need like words on those designs. So I filed it with Mindshare because it kind of needs coordination for like who would like to, what subprojects, what teams would like to run ads there, and then hooking them up to design and everything. That ticket just sat there. Is that something that Mindshare should be taking on? Should I have gone?
Yeah, I get your question. So I saw that ticket personally, and so here's the thing. I wanted to ask you this, on the ticket, but then that kind of skipped. So I wanted to know, if you're looking at a design, so since there is a design now, are we getting that? So the only reason. So is it the new design that you want to fit in, or is it the old design and you want to just run that for the time being and see where that goes?
So I guess there's two things. First of all, we're getting a new logo coming up at some point, and it has some further refinement to go through. But we should not block doing things until then. If people need stuff with the current logo, that's our current logo, so we should do those things. To me, this was more about like what we want to promote. So we could basically run the same things with Fedora Workstation things we had before.
Yeah,
but maybe we want to have new messaging for what Workstation is about. CoreOS might want some new messaging, and I don't know. I wanted to put that somewhere where it's getting coordinated between different teams. But I guess it kind of needs someone to take it up, and I don't have anybody to do it. I was kind of hoping maybe a call for action from Mindshare. And this is just kind of an example, because I think a lot of these things like this come up where it's hey, people should be working together on this to make this thing happen. How do we connect people?
Got it.
Things.
Got it. So what I would do is I'll coordinate with CoreOS modularity folks, and I'll coordinate with the design team. Anyway, I'm working on so when I'm posting for the GSOC stuff, we anyway need the access for the design for how to call for GSOCs, and when contributors are posting their own status reports on the community blog, which is important part of GSOC anyway. So they should be using a single unique design to say this is the weekly report for, let's say, week 1 and week 2 and week 3 and week 4 and henceforth. So I am anyway I'm going to work with the design team to get that on the track. So while I'm getting that, I'll probably work with the design team and get this as well.
Okay, that makes sense. The GSOC is in some ways a similar kind of thing where it's stuff where you want to coordinate people across the project for different things. All right, cool. Thank you.
Another thing that I wanted to ask for was
can I ask a quick question about that?
Sure.
So what I don't feel like we got a good answer there was that so it sounds like you agree that Mindshare should be getting tickets like that. But so kind of going forward, what can we expect for response time for that? Is that something that we'll get in a meeting or two from Mindshare? Like, how do we keep what happened to Matt from happening to people in the community in general?
That's a tough question for me. So I would say there should not be more than a week, because we at least meet a week. So if something has to come up, that should be at least on 1 week time frame. That's my best guess to the point. But so what I believe is Mindshare is not just there for approving event budgets and saying +1 on event budgets. We are supposed to definitely look after the entire project's community angles, which basically will say this kind of tickets are supposed to be filed to Mindshare, and then Mindshare should coordinate with other teams, as Mindshare is nothing but a body of different working groups and rather sub-projects representing their members. So I kind of think that this kind of tickets would come, and they should come, and then we should be able to respond to them by a week at max.
Yeah, I guess the question, it's a little bit, if the answer is, sorry, Matthew, we're too busy for this, or sorry, Matthew, we don't think that's a good idea, that's fine. The question kind of is the group looking for work? Because this is definitely a request for work kind of thing.
I got it. I would personally take this one and then make sure that you get the work done.
Okay. That won't scale, but it's a good start.
Yeah, okay. We'll see. So another thing that I wanted to ask is, can anyone give me the Twitter access for Fedora? Because I really wanted to put certain things on the Twitter. So one of those things is the GSOC stuff, because we need more and more visibility, and community blog I have to share it a ton of places to get some visibility around. So Twitter would be a good idea, because people can see and share. So if I would be glad someone can send me the access to Twitter, or probably I can contact them.
So the person who is the main contact for that is Brian Profit, who works for OSAS in Red Hat, and he takes care of all of our Red Hat's community social media Twitter accounts. So there's two things you can do. One is we can ask him for access. The other one is, if I have something I want tweeted, I ping him, and he is really fast at putting those things up. So that might just be the easiest way to do it.
Okay, sure.
And that way you can do the timing and things properly.
To add to that, maybe have a call or invite him to the Mindshare meeting or something, but try to talk over with Brian maybe a social media action plan for community blog in general, and they can, like, him and his team are incredibly good about it and very efficient. Like, I've been doing it with US, and all of a sudden it's all over the place and I didn't do anything. So I would highly recommend working with him to maybe answer his for community blog rather than just do one-offs.
I got it.
Yeah,
thanks for that insight.
I sent you email introductions to the two of you just now, so now you can follow up on that.
Thanks a lot. That makes my life so easy.
Cool. That's what I'm here for.
No one believes that lie.
Oh, sad. I believe the lie. Anything? Anybody else? Okay, that's everything then. Thank you, everybody, and I will be back on IRC next week, and I'll give everybody 20 minutes back. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.